It's December 11th, 1941. Pearl Harbor just got hit 4 days ago. You're sitting in the War Department in Washington, D.C., and some guy in a uniform walks up with a folder. "Sir," he says, "we've got the latest intelligence on German army strength." You open it up. Your jaw drops. The Germans have over 5 million troops in their army. Over 5 million. You've got about 1.6 million. They've got over 200 divisions ready to fight. You've got 37. 37. But wait, it gets worse. Those German soldiers, they've been fighting non-stop since 1939. Poland, France, Norway, Yugoslavia, and they're currently battling the Soviets in the East in a brutal war of attrition. Your guys, most were drafted in 1940 or 41 and have never seen combat, ever. What would you do? Because America was about to find out just how unprepared they really were. Let's rewind to understand how we got in this crazy situation. While America was dealing with the Great Depression in the 1930s, Germany was building the most experienced, battle-tested army the world had ever seen. By June 1941, Operation Barbarossa, the German army peaked at around 5.2 million personnel. These weren't just numbers on paper. These were seasoned troops who'd perfected Blitzkrieg. What's Blitzkrieg? Imagine coordinating tanks, infantry, and air support so perfectly that you can literally punch through entire countries in weeks. Poland fell in 28 days. France, with the supposedly impenetrable Maginot Line, collapsed in 6 weeks. Yugoslavia lasted 12 days. 12. Their equipment was terrifying. Panzer III and IV tanks that could shred most Allied armor. The infamous 88mm flak gun that worked as both anti-aircraft and anti-tank. Artillery that had been tested and refined through actual warfare, not just peacetime exercises. Meanwhile, what was America doing? Playing catch-up with a mix of World War I leftovers and shiny new toys they hadn't figured out how to use yet. Here's where it gets wild. The U.S. Army in December 1941 had 37 divisions total, 30 infantry, 5 armored, and 2 cavalry divisions. A typical U.S. infantry division had about 15,000 troops, which sounds decent until you realize a German infantry division had about 17,700 men and had been perfecting their tactics through years of warfare. American equipment was, let's call it, transitional. Some units had the new M1 Garand rifle, which was actually pretty solid, but others were still carrying 1903 Springfields from World War I. Their main tank was the M3 Stuart, a light tank that would have been all right if it wasn't about to face panzers. The M4 Sherman was just starting production. The M3 Lee was being built, but most units hadn't seen them yet. And here's the kicker. America's massive industrial capacity was already pumping out weapons, but those were for Britain and the Soviet Union under Lend-Lease. So while American factories were cranking out tanks and planes, most of that stuff was sailing across the Atlantic, leaving U.S. forces with whatever was left over. Combat experience? The Louisiana maneuvers of 1940 and 1941 were the biggest battles most American soldiers had seen. Those were training exercises, war games. Meanwhile, German officers were writing tactical manuals based on literally conquering most of Europe. Let's break this down. Personnel: Germany, 5.2 million. U.S., 1.6 million. Over 3-to-1 advantage for Germany. Divisions: Germany, 208. U.S., 37. More than 5-to-1 advantage for Germany. Combat experience: Germany had been at war for over 2 years. The U.S. had been at war for 4 days. Equipment testing: German tanks and tactics were proven in real combat. American equipment was proven in Louisiana swamps. The organizational structure tells the story. Those 208 German divisions included 142 infantry, 19 panzer, and 14 motorized units, all organized under a general staff system that had been refining military doctrine since before most American recruits were born. What would you do if you were facing those odds? Here's what makes this story absolutely insane. America knew they were outgunned, outmanned, and out-experienced, but they declared war anyway. Why? Because they had something Germany didn't: the potential for absolutely massive industrial mobilization. While Germany was already straining their industrial base by 1941, especially after invading Russia, America hadn't even started mobilizing for total war. Think about it. In December 1941, America was sending most of their military production overseas. What happens when they stop doing that and start gearing up for themselves? What happens when a country with the world's largest industrial capacity decides to build the world's largest army? The German army was superior in every measurable way at the start of U.S. entry into World War II. More troops, more divisions, better equipment, vastly more experience, and proven tactics. But they were looking at a sleeping giant that was about to wake up angry, very angry. The real question isn't whether Germany was stronger in December 1941. They absolutely were. The real question is, how do you defeat an enemy that can outproduce you 10-1 once they get going? Germany was about to find out, and it wasn't going to be pretty. History's weird like that. Sometimes the side that looks completely outgunned at the beginning ends up writing the victory speech. But in December 1941, yeah, America was in for a heck of a fight.